Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to cut through all the noise and really get straight to what matters in AI. Today, you're in for something a bit special. It's AIPOD's weekly AI news summary for the week ending September 14th, 2025. Our mission, like always, is to give you that fast track, that shortcut to being genuinely clued in on the biggest AI moves this past week. Forget the overwhelm. We're here to boil it down for you. Oh, and if you're tuning in on YouTube, please do subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. It really helps us out.
Yeah,
Let's kick things off then with a story that's just massive. Really sets the stage. OpenAI and Oracle. Reports are swirling saying they've sealed what might just be one of the largest cloud deals ever. We're talking a multi-billion-dollar agreement. OpenAI apparently buying around $300 billion worth of compute over 5 years, kicking off in 2027. I mean, wow, that number alone just makes you sit up straight, doesn't it?
It really does.
And it's interesting because OpenAI had already started using Oracle's cloud back in mid-2024, so this confirms that move away from relying only on Microsoft Azure.
Exactly. And what's really compelling here is that this isn't just some isolated cloud contract. It's reportedly tied into something even bigger, the Stargate project. You have to picture this. OpenAI, working with SoftBank and Oracle, apparently planning to pour a staggering $500 billion into building data centers, just over 4 years.
$500 billion.
$500 billion. And it's not just about renting servers, you know. The word is this is about building a dedicated AI supercomputing network, purpose-built for the most advanced models, maybe even for AGI, artificial general intelligence.
Okay, $500 billion for AI data centers in 4 years.
Yeah.
That's just mind-boggling. But, like, beyond the huge number, what does this signal about the kind of AI they expect? What needs that much power?
Yeah, that's the core question, right? When you see that kind of money, that kind of commitment, it strongly suggests they believe future AI models, well, they'll need vastly more compute than even today's giants. Think about training truly multimodal AI, understanding text, images, video, maybe even simulating the physical world. These aren't just bigger language models. We're talking potentially about intelligent agents learning and interacting in really complex ways. That needs scale specialized hardware, stuff that maybe goes beyond standard cloud offerings.
Right.
And it's also strategic, isn't it? Ensuring compute independence, not having all their eggs in one basket, so to speak.
So it's a leap into a new dimension of capability. But
Yeah.
is anyone pushing back? Is there skepticism about whether this massive bet makes sense? What are the risks?
Oh, absolutely. That's a critical point. Any investment this big has risks, especially when AI changes so fast. I mean, think about technology becoming obsolete. Today's top chips could be outdated sooner than you think. Or maybe they overestimate the compute needed. Or, perhaps more efficient AI methods pop up that don't need such brute force. But look, the players involved, OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, they're clearly betting the reward of leading the next AI wave outweighs those risks. They seem convinced compute is the bottleneck for AGI.
Incredible. Okay, so while they're building the foundation for AI's future, it's fascinating to see how the human side of AI training is also changing dramatically. Let's talk about Elon Musk's startup xAI. News is out that they've reportedly laid off around 500 people from their data annotation team. The folks who label data to train the AI models. That's about a third of that whole division, which, well, it seems counterintuitive, right? In a growing field focused on data, why make such a big cut? What's happening there?
Right, it definitely catches your eye. But this seems to highlight a really important evolution in how we train these models. These layoffs, from what we're hearing, aren't really about xAI shrinking overall. It looks much more like a strategic pivot, a refocusing of their human workforce. So they're apparently cutting back on these more generalist AI tutor roles. But at the same time, they plan to massively expand specialist AI tutor positions, like by tenfold. And they're targeting very specific areas: STEM fields, finance, medicine, and safety.
So trading generalists for specialists.
Exactly. While 500 general roles go, they're actively hiring for potentially thousands of highly specialized experts.
So why the shift now? What can specialists do that generalists couldn't, especially for something like their chatbot, Grok?
Well, think about it. General annotation is great for getting a model started, giving it broad knowledge. But as models like Grok get more advanced, and you expect them to be accurate and safe in complex, high-stakes areas, generalists hit a limit. A general LLM might struggle with deep factual accuracy or the nuances of, say, medical advice or financial regulations.
Yeah, you need real expertise there.
Precisely. A generalist might label a response about a health condition, But someone with actual medical training can check its accuracy, spot safety issues, make sure the tone is right. So this shift tells us AI training is moving towards needing deep, specialized human input. To get that precision, that domain-specific reasoning, that safety, is about making sure the AI doesn't just sound like it knows about medicine, but actually provides reliable, safe information, especially where mistakes really matter.
That makes a ton of sense, particularly for sensitive fields. But is there a downside? Could focusing too much on specialists make Grok less generally useful or create new skill gaps?
Both valid points, yeah.
Mhm.
One potential risk is creating siloed intelligence. Maybe the AI becomes great at medicine but less fluent generally, or struggles to connect ideas across domains. But the strategy is probably not to make Grok only a technical expert, but to give it a really strong, accurate foundation in these key areas, which hopefully makes it better overall. And yes, it definitely creates a shift in needed skills. The demand moves from general annotators to people with specific credentials who can validate complex facts.
Right.
It really underlines the need for continuous learning for people working alongside AI.
A really big shift. Okay, so we've got infrastructure, we've got training strategy. Let's switch gears to something much more hands-on, something that might change your daily workflow. Google Gemini has just rolled out a pretty neat new feature. You can now upload pre-recorded audio files up to 10 minutes long, and Gemini will transcribe them, summarize them, even pull out key data points. Apparently, Gemini's VP said this was their most requested feature, which tells you how much people wanted this functionality. I can immediately think of uses for this myself.
Oh, for sure. And that's why it's compelling, right? It's about unlocking all that information stuck in audio. Think about it, your voice memos, bits of lectures, important parts of meetings. Suddenly there is searchable text within Gemini, on web, on mobile.
Handy.
And it's meant to be smarter than just transcription. It can supposedly spot action items, pull out who said what, even draft study notes from a lecture recording. It's a real productivity boost for personal audio data.
Sounds incredibly useful. Could save a lot of manual note-taking. But hang on. Competitors like ChatGPT using Whisper, OpenAI's tech, and Anthropic's Claude, they already do audio input, don't they? So how different is Gemini's version, really? And that 10-minute limit, how practical is that?
Yeah, you hit on the key points there. The basic idea isn't unique, no. ChatGPT with Whisper is very powerful. Claude has capabilities too. Gemini's edge might be its integration within the Google ecosystem. For people already using Gemini daily, it's a seamless add-on. No switching apps.
True.
And maybe they're aiming for really refined summaries and data extraction, not just the raw text. We'll have to see how good it is in practice. As for the 10-minute cap, yeah, that's the current limitation. Fine for quick memos or meeting highlights, but not for a full hour-long lecture, obviously. You'd need to break it up.
Okay.
Plus, there are usage quotas, and it's not totally clear yet how pricing might work for heavy users. That could matter for professional use. But still, for everyday quick audio-to-text stuff, it's a definite step up in convenience, reinforcing Gemini as that sort of daily assistant tool.
I can definitely see myself using that for quick notes. Okay, shifting from practical tools to some deeper thinking. Let's talk about Demis Hassabis, CEO of DeepMind, Nobel Prize winner in chemistry just this year. Quite the figure. At an event recently, near the Acropolis, actually, he made this really thought-provoking claim. He said the most important skill for the future in this age of AI isn't coding. It's learning how to learn. That's a pretty big statement, especially from him. Kind of challenges the standard advice, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Right.
And his reasoning, his context, is all about the sheer speed of AI development. He pointed out, AI is changing week by week, making long-term bets on specific technical skills, like just learning one coding language, becomes almost pointless because AI is getting good at those tasks itself. So in that kind of environment, having a static skill is less valuable than the meta skill, the ability to constantly learn, adapt, to figure things out. It suggests a fundamental shift in what we should focus on: education, career planning. It's about adaptability, resilience, staying curious.
Learning how to learn, it sounds good, but
Yep.
what does that actually look like in practice? How do you get better at learning?
Yeah, that's the tricky part, isn't it? It's not one single thing. It's about cultivating genuine curiosity, for starters, developing critical thinking, being able to assess new information effectively, having a growth mindset, seeing challenges as learning opportunities, not just setbacks.
Right.
It means actively looking for diverse information sources, getting comfortable with uncertainty, trying new tools, experimenting, and crucially, maybe using AI itself as a learning partner, not just for answers, but to learn how to ask better questions, synthesize info, identify what you need to learn next.
Using AI to learn how to learn. Interesting.
And Hassabis also mentioned, his speculation that AGI might be possible within a decade. which brings huge benefits but also huge risks. That just underlines his point. Preparing isn't about mastering today's knowledge. It's about building the agility to handle tomorrow's unknowns, whatever they are.
That's definitely something to reflect on. Okay, and speaking of Google and Gemini again, let's wrap up our news summary with a really surprising, kind of fun story. There's this feature called Nano Banana.
Nano Banana.
Nano Banana. And apparently it's catapulted Google Gemini to the #1 spot in the Apple App Store for free apps, ahead of ChatGPT, ahead of Grok, the US and India. So what on earth is Nano Banana? I have no idea.
It's one of those wonderfully weird viral hits, isn't it? It reminds you how unpredictable consumer tech can be. So Nano Banana basically lets you take your own photos, pictures of yourself, friends, pets, whatever, and turn them into these hyper-realistic 3D figurines.
Like little action figures?
Sort of, but complete with little acrylic display stands and collector-style packaging in the image. You just upload a photo, give it a few text prompts, and boom, and it just went completely viral. Celebrities posting theirs, politicians, regular users. It really took off, especially it seems in India. People love the personalized, playful aspect.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Demis Hassabis even tweeted about it, celebrating the milestone, seeing it as just a glimpse of how AI can weave into creativity and social stuff.
That's wild. So, okay, it's fun, it's viral, but what's the bigger takeaway here? Does Gemini hitting #1 because of Nano Banana tell us anything important about the AI market?
I think it does, actually. It's quite significant in a couple of ways. First, it just shows how a really creative, shareable, fun AI feature can totally capture the public's imagination and drive huge adoption. It can shift things unexpectedly. It reminds us that sometimes user experience and that viral spark can matter just as much, maybe even more, than just the raw underlying tech in the consumer space.
Good point.
And second, it gives us a little insight into the competitive dynamics. Gemini's success here, well, it kind of pushes back against some of Elon Musk's recent complaints about supposed App Store bias against Grok.
Yeah.
It suggests maybe success on the App Store is more about hitting the right note with users, offering something compelling and easy to use, rather than some hidden bias.
Ah, interesting angle.
Yeah, just proof that well-designed, consumer-focused AI experiences that give people immediate, tangible, and maybe even just fun results. That's a powerful way for AI to go mainstream, not just solving hard problems, but adding a bit of joy and creativity too.
What a week indeed. Seriously, from those absolutely enormous infrastructure deals shaping AI's long-term future, to the strategic shifts in needing specialized human experts for training, then practical tools like audio transcription making things easier day to day, all the way to Nano Banana going viral and those deep thoughts from Demis Hassabis on learning how to learn. It just covers such a huge range, doesn't it? Shows the sheer speed and breadth of AI's impact, from the bedrock infrastructure right up to your phone.
It really does. It's evolving on so many fronts simultaneously. And it definitely makes you think, doesn't it? As we look at all these advancements, the scale, the specialization, even the creative uses like Nano Banana, it really begs a deeper question for you listening right now. What does intelligence itself even start to mean when it's being augmented, amplified, and expressed by AI in all these incredibly diverse new ways? Something to chew on, perhaps. Yeah, maybe dive deeper into whichever of these stories really grabbed your attention this week.